And as coaches, as teachers, you have guys that are putting in all the effort to improve in a ton of areas, whether it's classroom, scheme, technique.
Like, subscribe and hit that bell.
Taking a crazy amount of criticism for taking Shedeur off on that two-point conversion. I know we've talked about this, but I mean, it's like off the charts. Are you aware of it? Are you impervious to it? Do you block it out? Or what's your response to it? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think in my position, Mary Kay, you're everything you do that doesn't work will be criticized. That's the nature of this beast. Well, I'll constantly try to do what's best for the football team. Some of that, and you can grow that as well. But I do think it's always going to be a balance of giving the quarterback structure, giving him answers, giving him, easy buttons.
Fans are fired up right now because it really feels like Kevin Stefanski is trying to claim credit for Shedeur's rise. But let's be honest, Shedeur built this himself through years of hard work, his own mindset, and constant pressure from his father to be great. That shine belongs to him, and fans aren't letting anyone else take it. Every time Stefanski gets asked about Shedeur, he hides behind vague answers like "all my rookies" instead of just saying the obvious, that this kid is special. And that's what's wild. Everyone knows Shedeur's talent didn't suddenly appear in a couple practices or a few NFL meetings. This is someone who's been around football his entire life. He was studying the game before most kids even knew positions. Cleveland didn't create him. He arrived ready. Fans feel like Stefanski is trying to step into a story that was already written. And you can hear it every time he dodges real questions about Shedeur's development. The worst part is how he makes it sound like Shedeur unlocked some secret playbook in 3 weeks because of him. Fans aren't dumb. They know Shedeur didn't just learn how to throw or read defenses last month. He was already that guy. His dad, his coaches, and years of discipline shaped him. Stefanski taking credit now feels like someone showing up late and acting like they cooked the whole meal. Fans see right through it. When Stefanski talks about criticism, structure, and easy buttons, it's clear he's talking around Shedeur, not about him. He sounds more focused on protecting himself than praising the quarterback who's carrying the team's energy. That's why fans are angry. Shedeur came to Cleveland confident and polished. And instead of admitting that, Stefanski keeps trying to insert himself into the narrative. But everyone knows who built Shedeur, and it wasn't Kevin Stefanski.
Quantify the progress that Shedeur made while he was doing those practice at the end of practice and all the meetings with you and everything.
No, I mean, I don't think you can quantify development. With all of our players, we have a development plan that we feel strongly about. And like I think I mentioned to you guys before, what's great about our young class, Shedeur in this case, our entire rookie class, is these guys want to get better. And as coaches, as teachers, you have guys that are putting in all the effort to improve in a ton of areas, whether it's classroom, scheme, technique, footwork, hand placement, et cetera, et cetera. I think all these guys are making strides just because they're devoted to their development.
The way Stefanski speaks about Shedeur's growth explains exactly why fans are annoyed. He gives long, empty answers instead of explaining what actually makes Shedeur different. He keeps lumping him in with every other rookie so he doesn't have to admit that Shedeur walked in ahead of the pack. He makes it sound like Shedeur's progress is the result of some Browns development plan. But the truth is simple: Shedeur showed up prepared, confident, and mentally sharp because of work done long before Cleveland ever drafted him. Stefanski tries to sell it like this is a team project, but fans don't buy it. They recognize greatness, and they recognize when credit is being avoided. The more Stefanski talks, the clearer it becomes that he's more concerned with protecting his reputation than highlighting what makes Shedeur special. Instead of talking about Shedeur's football IQ, his calm under pressure, or how naturally he processes the game, Stefanski hides behind safe words like technique. It feels like he's afraid to admit Shedeur didn't just improve over a few weeks, he arrived ahead of most young quarterbacks he's coached. Fans feel it. They see who's putting in the work and who's driving excitement in Cleveland. And the fact that Stefanski won't say it out loud speaks louder than anything else.
With a rookie quarterback, can you tell, like, when you're having conversations with him, going over, can you tell in those conversations the moment when sort of the light bulb is really sort of when it's all starting to connect with them, regardless of which rookie?
Yeah, I do think to your point, there's a maturation throughout a rookie's first year. And it definitely starts in the spring and mastering the offensive system and those type of things. And then you try to start to master the defensive systems. And, we've talked a lot. Each week you're going up against a completely different defense with different rules for their coverages, different pressure packages. So we have different rules in our protection. So all of that, I think for young quarterbacks is really important to continue to develop in those regular season game plan weeks as you go. But in terms of light turning on, those type of things, I just think he's committed to getting better every single week, and that's what you want.
Listening to Stefanski talk feels more like a classroom lecture than an honest assessment. Shedeur didn't suddenly break out in Cleveland, he arrived ahead of schedule. Stefanski keeps repeating safe phrases about systems, protections, coverage, and weekly challenges. But he never says the obvious, that Shedeur processes the game faster than most quarterbacks he's worked with. It feels like he's trying to explain Shedeur's talent through his own system instead of admitting that Shedeur had real football education long before the Browns drafted him. Fans can tell he's avoiding the truth. Shedeur didn't wake up one day and suddenly learn how to read defenses. He came in confident, prepared, and already operating on a high level. Stefanski tries to bury that reality under technical language, but it doesn't hide anything. He talks about mastering schemes but ignores how quickly Shedeur adjusts when things break down. He briefly mentions off-platform plays like it's nothing, even though that's one of Shedeur's biggest strengths. Fans know what's happening. Stefanski keeps forcing Shedeur into a generic rookie label so he doesn't have to admit the truth. Shedeur's success isn't a result of Stefanski's coaching. It's a result of who Shedeur already was, a natural leader, a student of the game, and a quarterback built long before Cleveland. And no amount of coach talk can change that.
I think you look around the league, Tom, and there's a lot of quarterbacks that have always made plays outside the structure of their offense from when they were young to when they get to the pros. And you never want to take that away from a player. And Shedeur has a ability to make plays off schedule. So that's something that you certainly want to promote and enhance and get the team playing to that style as well. You also want to make it easy for your quarterback when you can, and when you can get those completions on time and play within the rhythm of the offense. That makes you really difficult to defend as a quarterback, but you never want to take away that ability to make plays off schedule.
Stefanski talks about Shedeur's ability to make plays outside the structure. It sounds like he's finally acknowledging what everyone already knows, but he still waters it down. Instead of saying Shedeur is special, he hides behind general comments about quarterbacks across the league. But not every young quarterback can escape pressure, stay calm, scan the field, and still make the right decision. Not every quarterback can turn chaos into positive plays. Shedeur isn't just scrambling, he's thinking, reacting, and controlling the moment like someone who's studied football his whole life. Fans know that because they've seen it everywhere he's played. But Stefanski keeps trying to blend Shedeur in so he doesn't have to say the truth out loud. Even when he praises him, it feels like he's trying to pull the credit back toward the system. He talks about rhythm, structure, and timing, but Shedeur's biggest strengths didn't come from this offense. They came from years of preparation, training, and mentorship before Cleveland. Shedeur didn't learn that calm under pressure in a few meetings. He brought it with him. And every time Stefanski frames it as something he needs to enhance, fans hear what's really happening. He's trying to attach himself to talent he didn't create. Shedeur was already him before Stefanski ever arrived.
Because Shedeur has demonstrated such elusiveness, can you guys add a little bit more movement into the game plan maybe than you originally intended to with him?
I think there's definitely ways to move the quarterback on schedule and part of your system, and we've certainly done some of that, and you can grow that as well. But I do think it's always going to be a balance of giving the quarterback structure, giving him answers, giving him, easy buttons, if you will. But then a lot of quarterbacks around the league, and some of the great ones, you see them, their ability to make plays off schedule when, as Coach Muss would say, when the chalk runs out on the chalkboard. That's really hard. It's a trait that not many people possess.
When Stefanski gets asked about adding more movement for Shedeur, he immediately falls back on safe answers about structure and balance. It feels like he's afraid to admit the obvious. Shedeur moves better than this offense was designed for. Instead of saying they should lean into that strength, Stefanski starts talking about systems and schedules. But fans know Shedur's ability to escape pressure and create plays wasn't built in Cleveland. His footwork, vision, and instincts came from years of real coaching and real experience long before the Browns drafted him. Stefanski sounds like someone trying to force a star into a rigid system instead of building the system around the star. And when he compares Shedur's off-script ability to other quarterbacks, it's just another way of avoiding how rare it actually is. He acts like everyone can do it, then admits not many can. That contradiction says everything. Fans see the truth. Shedur doesn't rely on the system, he often saves it. He turns broken plays into big gains and keeps drives alive when things fall apart. Stefanski keeps framing that as something to manage or balance. But Shedur is doing things coaches can't teach. That's why fans get frustrated when Stefanski tries to claim even a little credit. At the end of the day, the tape doesn't lie. Kevin Stefanski can't take credit for what Deion Sanders built. The fans know it, and Shedur proves it every week. Make sure to like and subscribe for more updates. What do you think? Is Stefanski protecting his ego, or does he really struggle to admit how much Deion shaped Shedur's success?